The only real danger that exists is man himself. He is the great danger, and we are pitifully unaware of it.
Have you ever felt like an invisible force is blocking you from the success, love, and freedom you know you deserve? You try everything: goal setting, visualization, hard work, yet you keep hitting the same dead ends. What if I told you that this isn't random? That something deeply buried inside you is secretly controlling your life, your relationships, your money, even your destiny itself. And worse, 99% of people will never wake up to it. They will live and die as prisoners of this hidden force, completely unaware of what's keeping them trapped. But you won't, because in the next few minutes, you're about to unlock a truth so dangerous, so powerful, it could shatter the illusion that's been holding you back your entire life. But be warned, once you see this, you can never unsee it. For centuries, people have asked, why do I keep making the same mistakes? Why do I sabotage myself when things start going well? Why am I drawn to the same toxic relationships, the same struggles, the same unexplainable fears? One man uncovered the answer. His name was Carl Jung, a Swiss psychologist who discovered something so powerful, it changed the way we understand the human mind forever. He called it the shadow. Jung revealed that every single person has a hidden unconscious self, made up of the traits, desires, and emotions we've been conditioned to reject. Maybe you were taught that showing anger is bad, so you bury your emotions. Maybe you were made to feel guilty about wanting wealth, so you subconsciously sabotage success. Or maybe, deep down, you fear rejection, so you play small, never realizing that you are the one keeping yourself trapped. But here's the mind-blowing part. Jung didn't see the shadow as a weakness. He saw it as the key to unlocking your highest potential. Because the very thing you've been suppressing is the thing that holds your greatest power. Jung warned us, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Let that sink in. Everything you're struggling with right now, the fears, the doubts, the limitations, they aren't accidents. They're the result of your unconscious mind running the show while you remain blind to it. And if you don't face it, you will keep repeating the same cycles for the rest of your life. But here's where it gets powerful. Jung found that when you confront your shadow, something incredible happens. You stop being controlled by it. The moment you recognize the hidden forces shaping your reality, you take back control. And not just of your mind, but of your entire life. So now the real question is, are you ready to finally break free? Because in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. But first, let me ask you this. Have you ever met someone who triggered an extreme emotional reaction in you? Anger, jealousy, resentment. Maybe it was a co-worker who seemed too confident, or a friend who was too successful. Here's something that will shock you. That reaction wasn't about them. It was about you. Jung discovered that the shadow reveals itself through projection, meaning the things that irritate you most in others are actually reflections of parts of yourself that you've repressed. Hate people who are arrogant? Maybe deep down, you wish you had the confidence to take up space. Feel annoyed by someone's wealth? Maybe a buried part of you desires success, but feels unworthy of it. Constantly get into toxic relationships? Maybe your shadow is unconsciously attracting what feels familiar, even if it's harmful. Jung's theory proves that the world is a mirror, constantly reflecting back the parts of you that need healing. And if you don't recognize these signs, you'll stay stuck in the same patterns forever. But once you learn to read these signs, you gain the ultimate power, the ability to rewrite your entire reality. And that's exactly what we're about to do next. Here's how to activate your shadow and activate your hidden power. Most people will never do this. They'll keep running, making the same mistakes, repeating the same cycles, and never realizing that the real enemy isn't the world. It's the part of themselves they refuse to face. But not you. You're here because something inside you knows the truth. The key to your power, success, and freedom has been locked away in your shadow. And today, you're going to unlock it. This is the process that will change everything. Step 1. Spot the shadow in your triggers. Your shadow is hiding in plain sight. It reveals itself in the people who trigger you, the emotions you suppress, and the patterns that keep repeating in your life. Ask yourself, who irritates you the most? Who do you secretly envy? What trait in others makes you uncomfortable? That's your shadow projecting itself onto the world. It's not about them, it's about you. For the next 24 hours, every time you feel triggered, stop and ask, what part of me is trying to get my attention? Write it down. This is where your real work begins. Step 2. Face the part of you you've buried. If you could sit across from the version of yourself you've suppressed your whole life, what would they say to you? What would they reveal? That version of you isn't your enemy. It's the key to your untapped potential. Find a quiet space. Close your eyes. Ask yourself, what have I been running from? What have I been told is unacceptable about me? What do I crave but fear at the same time? Listen, your first instinct will be to resist, to doubt, to push it back down. Don't. This is your shadow speaking. Write down every thought, every image, every buried truth. It's time to stop running. Step 3. Integrate your hidden power. Everything you've labeled as a weakness, your anger, your ambition, your intensity, your sensitivity, is actually your power in disguise. But power locked away is useless. It's time to activate it. Take action today. If you've suppressed your voice, speak up. If you've buried your creativity, create something. If you've feared success, take the first step toward what you truly want. Reframe what you've been avoiding. Anger isn't destruction, it's fuel. Fear isn't weakness, it's direction. Jealousy isn't shameful, it's showing you what you're meant to claim. The parts of yourself you reject are the exact parts that will set you free. But most people won't do this. They'll keep making excuses, convincing themselves they don't need to change. They'll stay trapped in the same stories, the same struggles, the same regrets. But you're not most people. Because you've just uncovered the truth. The shadow isn't your enemy. It's the hidden key to unlocking your power. But here's where it gets even more mind-blowing. But what if I told you that the part of you you've been avoiding isn't just influencing your thoughts? It's shaping your entire reality. Every success, every failure, every deep fear or buried desire is being controlled by something vast and unseen, just like the submerged part of an iceberg. And until you recognize how this hidden force is running your life, you'll always feel like something is missing. This isn't just about psychology. It's about power. Your power. The moment you start working with your shadow instead of against it, everything changes. Your relationships shift. Your confidence skyrockets. You stop repeating toxic patterns, but most people will never confront this. They'll distract themselves, burying these truths under routines and excuses, never understanding why they keep running in circles. Not you. Because in the next section, we're diving even deeper into the hidden world inside your mind, the unseen programming that dictates your decisions, and the exact way your shadow is shaping the life you're living right now. This is where the real transformation begins. But before we go deeper, understand this. Your shadow wasn't created overnight. It didn't just appear out of nowhere. It was built over time, shaped by every experience, every belief you adopted, every moment you were told who you should be and what parts of yourself were unacceptable. As children, we are pure energy, expressing ourselves without fear, without hesitation. We laugh too loud, cry when we feel like it, dance without caring who's watching. But then, society steps in. Parents correct us. Teachers discipline us. Friends judge us. And little by little, we start hiding the parts of ourselves that aren't accepted or admired. Over time, this hidden self becomes what we call the shadow, a reflection of the feelings we suppress, the desires we deny, and the potential we ignore. It's not just made up of our fears and insecurities. It holds our greatest strengths, the dreams we've been too afraid to chase, and the power we've been conditioned to suppress. Ignoring it doesn't make it disappear. In fact, the more you push it down, the more it controls you in ways you don't even realize. It manifests in self-sabotage, in repeating patterns, in overreactions that don't seem to make sense. Ever had a strong emotional response that surprised you? A deep resentment, an unexpected jealousy, a moment of fear that seemed irrational? That was your shadow, bubbling to the surface, demanding to be acknowledged. But here's the truth. The shadow isn't your enemy. It's a guide, a messenger, a missing piece of yourself that, once understood, becomes a source of strength. And once you learn how to work with it instead of against it, everything changes. This is where the real journey begins, not in fighting the shadow, but in integrating it, in learning to walk alongside it, like two forces in perfect balance, the conscious and the unconscious, the seen and the unseen, moving together in harmony. And when you finally embrace this part of yourself, that's when your life truly begins to shift. Let's dive deeper. Imagine standing in front of a mirror. You see your reflection, but behind it lies something you don't often acknowledge: your shadow. This isn't just a trick of light. It's the part of you shaped by thoughts, desires, and impulses you don't consciously recognize. Often, these overlooked aspects influence daily choices and reactions more than you might expect. Think about the quick judgments made when meeting someone new, or the instinctive reactions during a heated argument. These moments are often governed by parts of yourself that are hidden from direct view, shaped by past experiences you might not remember. Perhaps as a child, a stray comment from someone you admired led you to hide parts of yourself. Over time, these hidden parts mold a shadow that influences how you react, even in ways that seem irrational to an outside observer. Consider your habits. Maybe there's a particular task you avoid, even though it's not difficult. These aversions can stem from past associations tucked away in your shadow. Perhaps avoidance is tied to an early experience of failure or embarrassment, which the conscious mind has long forgotten, but the shadow remembers vividly. And what about relationships? The shadow plays a significant role here too. It can lead to repeated patterns, like choosing a partner with certain traits without fully understanding why. These choices might reflect unresolved aspects of yourself you're not aware of, guided by the shadow. It's as though unseen threads pull you back into familiar dynamics, sometimes comforting, other times perplexing. The choices you make when no one is watching, the paths you take when given options, are often co-piloted by this hidden force. It steers actions without revealing itself openly. When feeling stressed or facing a challenge, the shadow's influence intensifies, emerging in ways that you sometimes can't control or explain. These glimpses into your shadow can be brief, but telling. Moments where you react strongly to a minor inconvenience, or feel unjustified animosity towards a stranger, often hint at inner conflicts struggling to reach the surface. Such reactions are opportunities to understand what lies beneath. These are clues, small windows offering glimpses into deeper motivations and fears. A tricky part is acknowledging the shadow without fear or judgment. It's deeply personal and uniquely shaped by experiences, upbringing, and environment. Yet, there's a universal truth. Everyone has one, influencing thoughts and actions in subtle, unspoken ways. Embracing this part means engaging with a fuller view of yourself, with the potential to transform and redirect the unseen currents guiding your life. This awareness can be uncomfortable, prompting questions about authenticity and autonomy. However, recognizing the shadow's role is the first step to reclaiming control over choices and reactions. Through this understanding, you can begin to make changes, choosing responses and actions more in tune with who you truly aspire to be. This is not about shedding the shadow, but integrating it into the broader understanding of yourself. It's about using this knowledge to foster growth, making deliberate decisions rather than being driven by unseen forces. The shadow doesn't need to remain hidden. By bringing it into awareness, you start to align more closely with your core values and genuine desires. With insight and acceptance, the shadow transitions from a hidden controller to an aspect of self that informs more balanced perspectives and decisions. The aim is not to extinguish it, but to learn how to work with it towards more conscious living. It's a constant process of self-discovery and harmonizing the different parts within. As you proceed, remember the importance of curiosity and self-compassion. Exploring the shadow is like meeting an old, misunderstood part of yourself. It's about bringing light to the hidden, not with harshness, but with the acceptance that leads to authentic transformation. Through this ongoing exploration, you unveil deeper levels of self-awareness, paving the way for a more mindful and intentional life. Now, let's continue our exploration by moving deeper into how our shadows influence our brains. At the core of our being, the brain runs countless programs without us even realizing it. These codes work in the shadows, shaping our thoughts and actions far more than we might think possible. The term shadow in psychological terms refers to the unconscious aspects of our personality. It's where we stash away the traits and desires we find unacceptable or uncomfortable to acknowledge. While this might sound like it's all about negative traits, it encompasses positive ones too. These traits stay hidden because they conflict with our self-image or societal expectations, but they continue to influence us, stealthily guiding our actions and reactions. Imagine that you're in a moment that triggers stress or fear. Your heart races, your muscles clench. It's instinctive. Yet the brain, working underground, taps into its vast library of shadow programming. It recalls past experiences and patterns learned throughout life. It's trying to protect you, even if the situation at hand is not necessarily a threat to your physical self. These shadow programs are deeply engraved through life's experiences and personal or cultural teachings. They dictate how we react to others, how we perceive risks, and even how we form habits. The brain does this by creating patterns, recalling shadows of past reactions, so that it can respond automatically without much conscious thought. Our shadow self stores our fears, regrets, attachments, and everything else that forms our hidden self. Over the years, these hidden aspects grow and gain strength in shaping us. For example, consider a decision you make under pressure. The outcome you fear, based on past negative experiences, can dominate your thoughts. You might shy away from opportunities, fearing repetition of past failures, all due to a pattern rooted in shadow programming. Your shadow whispers doubts, undermining confidence, even when logic suggests you should take that leap. These shadows don't operate in isolation. The brain's programming ensures they intertwine with habits and responses, affecting everything from small choices like what clothes to wear to significant life decisions. The shadow self can make you attracted to certain people, push you away from others, and create impressions that feel like gut instincts but are actually shaped by these ingrained programs. The science part of this comes from understanding how the brain manages to do this efficiently. Neurological pathways are shaped through repeated experiences and learned behavior. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections, enables the shadow self to influence changes within us. When a shadow aspect gets reinforced, the connections in the brain related to that aspect grow stronger, making it a default pattern. But there's an interesting aspect here. Awareness can change the game. By identifying and acknowledging these shadows, the brain can begin to reshape itself. When we bring these hidden aspects into the light of our awareness, it grants us an opportunity to understand them, integrate them into our personal story, and change how we wish to respond in the future. Let's think about a day-to-day situation like handling criticism. Many struggle with this, often responding defensively or with anxiety. This reaction can be rooted in a shadow that harbors fear of inadequacy, planted during childhood or through critical experiences in life. Bringing awareness to this shadow means recognizing the old program that triggers the fear and choosing to see feedback differently. Recognizing shadow programming is not about solving everything at once, but about being open to understanding what lies beneath our reactions. It's about hearing the echoes of our past without letting them dictate the future. Sometimes, talking with others, undergoing therapy, journaling, or meditative practices can help shine a light on these shadow areas. Our shadow doesn't just hide fears, but also masks our hidden potential and desires. Positive traits we disown, perhaps due to modesty instilled by upbringing or a lack of encouragement, are part of the shadow too. By understanding and working with our shadow programming, we can release positive aspects too long ignored, like creativity, joy, or confidence, and bring them into our conscious life. This is an ongoing dance between what we consciously know and what the shadow holds. Accepting that this is part of being human can be freeing. It allows us to see that growth is not about erasing these shadows, but rather about embracing them, understanding them, and using that understanding to build a life that is richer and more aligned with our true selves. With this awareness, each step forward is not just a move away from the shadows, but also a step toward a better sense of self. Everything we encounter outside of ourselves acts as a reflection of what resides within us. Imagine as though the world is a mirror. Each interaction and experience offers insight into our inner emotional and psychological landscape. This idea may seem curious at first, but when considered deeply, it unlocks a whole realm of self-awareness. These reflections reveal what is often hidden beneath the surface of our conscious mind. The concept here relates to projections, where we unconsciously cast our own beliefs, fears, desires, and unacknowledged traits onto others. This projection becomes the lens through which we interpret the actions and intentions of those around us. For instance, if we hold an unrecognized fear of failure, we might perceive others as being overly critical or harsh, even when they aren't. This reaction is less about their behavior and more about what's happening inside us. Everything we think externalizes and appears around us in some way. If we understand the world's reaction as our reflection, we begin to comprehend these deeper parts of ourselves. Someone who often encounters conflict wherever they go might be expressing unresolved anger or resentment. On the other hand, someone who easily finds kindness and compassion could be deeply connected to those aspects within themselves. Consider our impulses to praise or blame those around us. When we praise, we often highlight the qualities we admire or yearn to develop within ourselves. When we criticize, we might be condemning traits that mirror our insecurities or aspects we wish to deny in ourselves. The things that irritate us in others can very well be a reflection of attributes we have yet to accept in ourselves. To move beyond projection, awareness is key. Recognizing our subjective interpretations helps us differentiate between what truly belongs to others and what is a shadow projection of our own making. When we encounter situations that evoke strong emotional reactions, we should ask ourselves whether these feelings reflect internal conflicts. This is not an easy practice and requires honesty and willingness to look within. Overcoming projection involves acknowledging that others experience the world through their own projections, just as we do. Realizing this creates space for compassion and understanding in our relationships. It allows for the recognition that disagreements and misunderstandings often stem from differing inner worlds, not merely external actions or words. The people and situations that irritate or frustrate us often serve as our greatest teachers. They hold up a mirror and provide a chance to heal past wounds or accept parts of ourselves we might not want to face. As much as shadow projections can hinder, they also offer incredible opportunities for growth and transformation. In this journey of becoming aware of shadow projections, self-reflection becomes a valuable tool. It encourages us to question our assumptions and judgments. Are we seeing reality, or are we coloring it with past experiences and internal stories? By peeling away these layers of projection, we slowly unveil a version of the world that is more accurate and true. This path to self-awareness liberates us from repeating patterns of misunderstanding and conflict that can echo throughout our lives. It guides us toward more harmonious relationships, where we engage with others openly and authentically. Each moment becomes a stepping stone, an opportunity to reshape the internal dialogue and uncover the beautiful truth that lies within each of us. Next, we explore how these shadow projections influence our dreams, where the subconscious communicates in symbols and emotions. In dreams, the shadow often becomes vivid and undeniable, revealing aspects of ourselves we might never acknowledge while wakeful. The world of dreams shows another dimension where shadow projections play out, offering insights and wisdom from the depths beyond our conscious mind. In dreams, shadows seem to take on a life of their own. They might appear as familiar faces or strange symbols, often bringing messages from the depths of our subconscious. It is fascinating how these shadows reflect our hidden fears, desires, and unresolved conflicts. When we sleep, our conscious defenses lower, allowing the subconscious to communicate more freely. Imagine waking up from a dream that left you feeling uneasy. Perhaps, in the dream, you faced a situation that you feared in your waking life, or encountered a person whom you struggled with emotionally. These dreams are not just random illusions. They carry messages that we can learn from. The shadow within us uses dreams to highlight what we need to confront or accept. Think about a recurring dream you might have. Each time it plays out a bit differently, yet the theme remains the same. This repetition is the subconscious's way of nudging you to pay attention. Maybe it's urging you to resolve a conflict or confront a part of yourself that you're ignoring. By analyzing these dreams, you can gain insights into your deeper self. Sometimes dreams bring shadows that manifest as unknown figures or mythical creatures. These are symbolic expressions of complex emotions or states of mind that you haven't yet acknowledged. For example, dreaming of a monstrous creature can symbolize a fear you're refusing to face in reality. Deciphering these symbols can help you identify what needs addressing. Dreams often operate in a language of metaphor. For instance, dreaming of being trapped in a small room might symbolize feeling confined or limited in your personal life. Every element in the dream holds significance, giving clues to what your subconscious is trying to convey. By understanding the theme and emotions within your dreams, you can interpret their messages. Sometimes, dreams serve as rehearsal. They allow you to practice dealing with situations that you're apprehensive about. This can include rehearsing interactions, solving problems, or managing conflicts. When you wake, you might feel better equipped to handle similar challenges in the waking world. Dreams, where you confront a shadow aspect, can be unsettling, yet they also offer an opportunity to grow. By embracing these dreams, rather than fearing them, you open the door to understanding the parts of yourself you've ignored. This understanding can lead to self-acceptance and healing. It is common to dismiss dreams as irrelevant, but doing so means missing out on valuable insights. Paying attention to recurring dreams and the feelings they evoke can reveal the subconscious themes affecting your present experience. By keeping a dream journal, you can track patterns over time, making it easier to interpret the messages they bring. Overall, the shadow in dreams acts as a guide, directing you toward areas in your life that need attention. By accepting these dream messages with an open mind, you can begin the journey towards self-discovery and emotional balance. This acceptance doesn't mean solving all problems at once, but acknowledging their presence as a first step. In acknowledging your dreams, you're choosing to listen to your inner self. Every dream is an opportunity to engage with your subconscious, allowing growth and transformation. These dreams aren't meant to intimidate or frighten, but to illuminate aspects of yourself that are crucial for your personal development. When you dream tonight, consider what shadows might emerge. They are the subconscious speaking, showing you what you can heal and embrace. Listening to these dreams with curiosity and respect can lead you to a more profound connection with yourself. Because the shadow is an integral part of who we are. It's that side of us that may not always show itself, yet greatly influences our thoughts and actions. To fully understand ourselves and gain control over our energies, integrating this shadow is necessary. Here's the 3-step method to start this process. First, begin with acknowledging the shadow's presence. The shadow isn't something evil or malicious. It's simply the parts of ourselves we've pushed away. These might be traits or emotions we don't like, but it's important to recognize that everyone has these aspects. Perhaps in dreams, you've seen hints of these hidden parts. Think about those dreams and what they might have been trying to tell you. See those characteristics not as foes, but as parts longing to be understood. By admitting their presence, you lessen their mysterious grip. Now, move on to observation. Here, be honest with yourself. Reflect on situations where you've felt defensive or where you've reacted strongly. These are often moments where the shadow pops up. Maybe there's a specific trait in others that annoys you. Often, that's a hint of something inside that you haven't accepted about yourself. Take note of patterns. If there are situations where you repeatedly feel uncomfortable, or if certain people seem to trigger you, there's much to learn there. Spend time contemplating these observations, but do so with compassion. The goal is not to judge or criticize, but to see these reactions as data points, helping you piece together a clearer picture of your shadow. Finally, embrace transformation. This is where your newfound knowledge turns into action. Make a conscious effort to accept these shadow elements. Start small. Pick one trait you've identified and work on seeing it differently. Perhaps you've been overly self-critical and have realized it stems from a need for perfection. Acknowledge that need and try to channel it constructively, maybe by setting realistic goals or celebrating small victories. Transforming the shadow means turning what once held you back into something that now motivates and guides you. Now, imagine carrying a backpack filled with stones. Each stone represents fears, doubts, and unresolved emotions. Over time, this weight becomes part of our emotional landscape, shaping our interactions and life choices. Through shadow work, you begin removing these stones one by one. With each stone lifted, you feel lighter and more in tune with your true desires and needs. Shadow work involves facing aspects we've labeled as negative or undesirable. When we confront them, they lose their power over us. It's like turning on a light in a dark room. Fear diminishes when we shine a light on what's often overlooked. This act of facing our hidden selves is what empowers us deeply. It opens the door to the ultimate power, the ability to shift our reality. When you begin practicing shadow work, you open yourself to unexpected insights and breakthroughs. Say, for instance, you've always had a fear of speaking in public. By exploring this fear, understanding its roots, and slowly working through it, you start shedding layers of insecurity. This process doesn't happen overnight, but as you continue, public speaking transforms into an opportunity rather than a threat. This shift is more than psychological. It changes how you navigate life, facing challenges with newfound courage. Undeniably, there's a ripple effect. Your inner transformation begins influencing the outer world. People might notice a different energy about you, perhaps more relaxed or confident. This isn't magic. It's the result of hard, introspective work. Such changes lead to a more authentic existence where intentions align with actions. The courage to look inward and engage with your shadow brings clarity to your life path. You find that goals which seem distant or unattainable come into sharper focus. This clarity births a sense of empowerment, urging you to pursue ambitions and dreams that seemed impossible before. Shifting your reality doesn't mean instant gratification of wishes, but rather a change in perception that allows you to make more aligned choices. It's about living in harmony with your authentic self. Your values become clearer, boundaries stronger, and relationships more meaningful. This shift can profoundly change your sense of happiness and fulfillment. With shadow work, you're giving yourself the freedom from past narratives and limitations. By doing so, you create space for new stories and paths. Real growth happens at this intersection of acknowledging past shadows and looking forward to a future full of untapped possibilities. This dynamic evolution within paves the way for a life lived more boldly and truthfully. So what does it mean to unlock ultimate power through shadow work? It means embracing all aspects of who you are, allowing for a full spectrum approach to living. It's more than surface-level improvements. It's a journey of profound inner transformation that reflects outwardly. This deep work connects you to a raw personal power, enabling you to shift reality by aligning it with your true essence. Think of it as aligning your inner compass. Every step you take tells the universe you are ready to accept your full potential, and in doing so, you attract experiences and people that resonate with this new reality. It's an invitation to step into a version of your life that feels more authentic and enriching. As you engage with shadow work, remember, it's not a race. It's an ongoing process that requires patience and compassion. Each experience and revelation is a vital part of the transformation. Celebrate small victories and keep the momentum, knowing that unlocking this ultimate power leads to a more intentional and empowered existence. Embracing the shadow work challenge is not just about confronting hidden parts of ourselves, it's about change and growth. Life throws so many distractions our way that make us forget those little whispers from within. The challenge lies in creating space to listen, truly listen, to what needs attention and healing. Every aspect of our shadow holds stories, fears, and lessons waiting to be understood. It's like cleaning out a cluttered closet, where each item has its place and meaning. We often bury parts of our identity, setting aside emotions we find overwhelming, such as guilt or sadness. Facing these emotions can be tough, but the freedom that comes afterward is worth the effort. Getting started on this path doesn't demand grand gestures. Begin with simple moments of self-reflection. Give yourself the time to ask, what am I feeling right now? Where in my life am I holding back? Answers might not come right away, but patience and consistency will open doors. It's like learning a new language. The key is practice and more practice. Revisiting memories can unveil patterns that impact our present choices. Perhaps there's a recurring theme from childhood, something that shaped our perspective in ways we didn't realize. By gently acknowledging these patterns, we can choose which ones to hold dear and which ones to release. This step can bring a sense of relief, akin to letting go of a weight you didn't realize you were carrying. Sometimes, sharing this journey with others can be the breakthrough you need. Whether it's opening up to a trusted friend, joining a group of like-minded people, or even engaging in a community like this one. Connection provides both support and insight. Here, in this space, you're not alone. When you see others asking the same questions, facing the same struggles, and pushing through their own shadows, it reminds you, you're not the only one on this path. Sometimes, just seeing someone else's perspective can be like holding up a mirror, revealing blind spots you never noticed in yourself. So don't just watch, engage. Drop a comment, share your thoughts, and see how others are navigating this journey. Because transformation doesn't happen in isolation. Forgiveness plays an essential part, deserving special attention. Holding on to grudges only ties us to past hurt. Forgiving doesn't mean forgetting or saying it's okay. It's about freeing up energy tied to resentment. This opens up pathways to love and acceptance, both of ourselves and others. It's important to remain kind to yourself. Missteps and setbacks are natural. They're hints pushing you to grow and learn. Remember, growth isn't linear. Acknowledge the courage it takes to face the shadows and the growth that comes with it. Journaling can be a useful tool on this journey. Writing down feelings can lead to new insights and discoveries. It allows a safe space to express emotions and track progress over time. Over days or weeks, themes may emerge, guiding you on where to focus your energies. Breathing exercises and meditation can deepen the practice. They help in quieting the mind and centering yourself, inviting peace and stillness. In these moments of peace, our inner wisdom often speaks the loudest, offering guidance and clarity. In this challenge, be aware of resistance. It might arise as procrastination or denial. Recognizing it is the first step to overcoming it. Accept resistance as part of the process and continue your work without judgment. Throughout this journey, celebrate the small victories. Each realization, each step forward, no matter how small, is a testament to your resilience and willingness to grow. Embracing those moments adds fuel to your journey. Remember that shadow work is deeply personal. Compare your journey with others less, and focus more on your growth. Find your own rhythm, your own way forward. Reclaiming parts of yourself can be transformative, filling your life with new perspectives and understanding. With a patient heart and an open mind, the Shadow Work Challenge becomes a profound journey of self-discovery and empowerment. By embracing and healing our shadows, we become more connected to ourselves, to others, and to the energy that moves through us. Stepping bravely into this challenge might just surprise you with the power of transformation it holds. By exploring weakness, you have unveiled strength. Each shadow that came into light has shown you a part where light can shine even brighter. Today, you stand with a clearer understanding of who you are, and this self-awareness is a powerful ally. The introspective work has not been easy, and it never promises simplicity. But by choosing to embark on this journey, you have shown a commitment to growth and transformation. This is the moment where you see the world with new eyes, ready to reshape it through the power you've cultivated within. In facing fears and doubts, you've learned that these shadows don't define you. They are parts of the human experience, having the potential to enrich life with depth and understanding. You now hold the capability to transform these shadows into stepping stones, into energies that propel you forward. You have learned how to acknowledge them without letting them consume you. In accepting this complexity within you, there is a newfound liberation. This release allows you to embrace creativity, aspiration, and love with a more genuine spirit. Balancing light and shadow adds layers of authenticity to your interactions with others and the world. A resilient and steadfast spirit emerges from this process, yours for the taking and using deliberately. This transformation is your own, set at your pace. Each new day offers a chance to practice what you've learned. With patience and compassion, your experiences shape the journey, guiding you gently to the person you're becoming. Change doesn't happen overnight, and that's perfectly okay. What matters is that you continue placing one step in front of the other, whether it's a giant leap or a tiny shuffle. Remember that your journey resonates not just within, but with those around you. Your growth inspires growth in others. As you embrace and harness your energies, you become a beacon, casting light with your authentic presence. This is a gradual, ongoing process, but one with endless potential. Embrace the possibilities within you now, and those yet to come. Your transformational journey begins today, woven from every discovery and understanding you've harvested. It is a testament to resilience, courage, and the enduring quest for authenticity. With open eyes and an open heart, you are ready to begin anew, turning the shadows of yesterday into the dreams of tomorrow. This is the moment everything shifts. You now hold the key to unlocking your hidden power, but knowledge alone isn't enough. You have to act. So here's your challenge. Drop a comment below and type, "I am ready to face my shadow," if you're serious about breaking free from the patterns that have been controlling your life. This isn't just a comment, it's a declaration to yourself and the universe that you refuse to stay stuck. And if this video spoke to you, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next deep dive into unlocking your true potential. For those who want to take this even further, join my newsletter, where I share exclusive insights and powerful techniques to help you integrate your shadow and step into your most powerful self. The link is in the description. Your transformation starts now. Let's do this together.